Alright. I'm gonna throw some wheels on this. I'm gonna reinstall the new carburetor and see if we can drive it home. 60 or 70 mile drive. So as long as I can get it to run and the wheels fit, I think it'll be fine. Well, I'm not gonna be able to drive it home because I got 1/2-inch lug nuts and I have 7/16 studs, but it's gonna look pretty good. The other issue is not 100% sure they're gonna fit in the back. They definitely aren't gonna go on unless I let the axle droop, or maybe when I put the new springs and it lifts the back up a little bit, but can't even fit the wheel up in there the way that it is right now. The inner wheel lip hits the drum and the fender. Tire hits the fender, so gotta raise the back a little. Gonna have to let the rear axle droop, but or throw the new springs that I have in there before I bring it home. But I did order the right lug nuts, and at the very least, I think we'll be able to get it running today. I haven't really shown very much of this. It's dirty right now, but it's pretty good. The seats was originally a bucket seat car. It's converted to bench. They didn't do it the right way. You have to weld in a bracket. The floors are actually different for bucket seat cars. You got to weld in a bracket. Not a big deal. Just means the seat kind of tilts that way. That seat is not completely bolted down. I think it's only got 2 bolts in it, and it's missing one of the side bolts for the back. But it's really not bad. Like, needs a new package tray, but the metal underneath is good. I'm gonna get rid of those 6x9s anyway. Rear seat cover's in good shape. We're not sure what we're gonna do for front seats yet. Gonna need a different steering wheel. Need a different shifter handle. And it needs a pretty good sized patch in this floor pan, but not that big a deal. It's a super straight car. I forget, I get away from it for a little bit and then I forget how nice it is. It's got this little dent right here, but otherwise it's got no rust, like none. A tiny little bit in the floors, a tiny little bit in the front cross member that I'll reinforce and probably eventually replace the subframe, but it just needs body work and paint, like not rust repair body work, just smooth it out and paint. It was a vinyl top car, so the vinyl top's been removed, so this is going to take quite a bit of smoothing. You can see there's kind of some factory Bondo right there. So I think Jess is going to want it. I think she's going to want a painted top. I don't think she's going to want the vinyl top again. So unfortunately it looks like there's birds in my mother-in-law's garage, so I got to get it out of here soon. But I think the new lug nuts will be here Wednesday. Assuming I get it running today, we can come up and get it on Wednesday. I can put a good polish on it, and we can cruise it for the fall. So it's a fun car. It's nicer than it's always nicer than I remember. I think those wheels and tires are going to look pretty good for now. It's a 402 big block Chevy out of a 1972 like Chevy C20 pickup truck. It's basically the same as a 396 from the 60s, just a little bit bigger, slightly larger bore. And this thing is, besides the orange spray paint, dead stock. A lot of original stuff on it. And it drives really good. You can see it has a divorced choke right there. So I'm going to have to figure out how to make that work. And it's quadjet spread bore, which I don't love, but it does the job fine for right now. It's going to be LS anyway in the spring. Here's a new carburetor. So I just got to move parts from the old carburetor to this one, like the ball stud for the throttle linkage. I got to hook up the choke over here. All the vacuum stuff. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this, because you can see when I took it off, it ripped. What I think I'm going to do is cut it right here, try to work that back into some semblance of a normal round shape. I'll probably cut the other half off down here. Run a short piece of rubber hose with some double clamps. Like I said, this is only going to get us through the fall. I also want to put in a clear fuel filter because I noticed that I think the tank has a bunch of rust in it. So I want to have 2 layers of fuel filter. Like I said, this only has to get us through like the end of October, and it's just maybe like a month and a half or so. But here we go. I'll update once it's together, and I guess we'll try to fire it up at some point. All right, so this little bottom piece hits that bolt right there in the intake, and I don't have a carb spacer to space it up, but we use this part for the throttle and the return spring. So what I should do is cut that off. What I'm probably going to do is just bend it up out of the way because I don't have a cutoff hole here, and I can deal with that later or probably never. All right, so you can see it's bent up out of the way. Now it doesn't touch anything, and I get full throttle and it closes fully. A lot of clearance around everything, so fix that. All right, well, it's not perfect, but I just test fit it with that fuel line right there, and I think it's going to bite enough. I did order some actual barb fittings for this. I don't know if I'll drive it home on this, but I would like to see this thing run on this new carburetor today. I think that's good enough to run it. I don't know if it's good enough to drive it. If it doesn't leak, I guess it is. I can fit at least one really tight hose clamp right there. I think it'll bite in okay. This fuel line's pretty brittle, but like I said, I have a new barb fitting coming. So if this drifts a little while we test run it, that's fine. If it doesn't drift, I'm going to prime it with this. I don't really need the mix, but this is what I can get at the parts store. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there. Probably try to put a little bit down the bowl so it has enough time to get fuel up here. It actually still has fuel in this line, surprisingly. So I actually think we might end up starting running fairly quickly and easily, but I'll put a little bit down the throat too, give it a couple pumps, and see if it starts. Oh, it fires. It's leaking a ton of gas. So clean some of that up. I was leaking a ton of gas. Forgot to tighten the inlet fitting. Come back with that. All right, we're gonna try that again. This time maybe without gas leaking everywhere. Almost. I'll turn up the idle a little bit more. Let's see if she'll start running this time. Not quite. I had the fuel line pinched off. That's not going to help, is it? There we go. I get a better feeling this time. Almost. Not easy by myself here. All right, we're close. I'm gonna make a couple more adjustments to the air bleeds, idle air mixture, and we'll see if we can come back. All right, I don't have it running perfect yet, but I think it's good enough to get home once I get the right lug nuts. So it's sort of warm now, so, but we'll see. All right, we're getting closer. Big blocks take a lot more idle air screw than I'm used to. About 4 turns out from snug. Finally getting the idle to settle down a little bit. Gotta take a little bit more. A little bit more. See if it'll relax a little more. Blew the bulb in my overhead light, so working blind here. There we go. Now it's getting happier. Idle down. Yeah, I'm happy with the way that runs now. We'll see if it'll start. All right, it's warm, so it should start. Yeah. All right. Well, it's about as much progress as we're gonna make today. The engine is making some noises. It needs an oil change, that's for sure. Doesn't sound like death noises. But like I said, I'll do an oil change when I get home. We're not gonna run this a whole lot longer, and I'll probably rebuild this for something else later, but good for now. All right, button back up. Definitely needs more tuning. Surges at idle. Usually means it's too lean. Starting to kick some condensation out the exhaust, so seems like it was running right. Thought it was fuel at first, but let's see if it'll go without any priming or anything.